time for another yarn review. This time we're going to look at Patons' Venus. There is a song from the 70s that I was going to sing right now, but I'm not going to do it. But you'll know I'm a 70s girl when I sing it. Yarnspirations.com is how you can purchase this yarn, Patons' Venus. It's a new yarn that came out in 2014. There's a free pattern on the website to make this top. I can't remember how many skeins you need to make it, but you can look it up on yarnspirations.com. And if you can't find it on yarnspirations.com, just send them an email to inquire@yarnspirations.com and they will send you the pattern. They always do that, even for yarns that are discontinued. So if you have an old pattern that you wish you still had, just send them an email and they'll send you the pattern. They're good like that. They're awesome folks. I love them. I've been working with them for 5 years now and I've never been disappointed. Anyway, Patons' Venus is our yarn. Let's get back to that. Hello, focus. Sandy, use your brain. Okay, this skein feels really good in the hands. It's soft, especially the big bulky sections. They're very soft. So the strands change as you work it, but we'll look at that in a minute. Each skein is 1.75 ounces or 50 grams, 133 yards or 122 meters, 55% cotton, 40% acrylic, 5% nylon. And let's see here. This color is green. Verde. It's considered a medium weight yarn, number 4. And to knit with it, you need a size 8 or 5mm knitting needle. And you will get 18 stitches and 24 rows in a 4x4 inch square or 10x10 centimeter square. To crochet with this yarn, you need a size H or 8 hook, 5mm. You'll get 14 single crochets and 16 rows in a 4x4 inch square or 10x10 centimeter square. Care instructions are machine washable, machine dryable, do not iron, do not bleach, and do not dry clean. So it looks like this is easy care, machine washable and dryable. Pretty awesome. And this is like I said, it's mostly cotton. So this would be a really good yarn for the summertime because it'll help to wick away moisture from your body and it'll be cool and comfortable as you wear it. Alright, good for garments. It would also be good for making a scarf, I think. So to find the outer strand takes some concentration, and I do see it here finally. It's the one coming from the center. It looks like it's coming from the center, but it's actually coming from the outside and going into the center. So pull that out and put it under the ladle so it doesn't get tangled with your yarn. And then I have a feeling this one might be hard to find the center. But just wiggle your fingers around for some loose parts and pull them out and deal with it. There. Okay. So this is a thick and thin yarn. Thick and thin yarn means some sections are thick and some sections are thin. But it does seem to have a bit of a regular pattern to it. So it's not haphazard. It's pretty standard, pretty predictable. It's thick, thin, thick, thin, thick, thin. The thick parts are very fluffy and cottony and bushy. They feel good, fluffy. And the thin parts are very hard and like thread. So it gets very thin in comparison to the thicker sections. But when you do your stitch gauge and you measure your number of stitches per inch determines that it is a medium weight yarn, even though the weight varies as you use it. So that's how they determined that, in case you're wondering. So we're going to play around with it and see how it feels on the needles and the hook. Let's start off with crochet this time. I'm using a size H 5mm hook and just going to do a few chains here. Starting off with the thread part. And it's probably a good idea to start with the thread part, that way it'll be easy to work in that end when you finish your project. So you shouldn't start off with the thick part, because that thick fluffy end would be harder to work in. There. So I'm going to pass by this thick section. There. And now I'm going to work some single crochets. I'm going to go under 2 instead of under 1 like I sometimes do. It's a little hard to find the stitches with this yarn, since it I think it'll be easy for me to skip a stitch. It's kind of hard to see the chains in crochet. It might get better on the next row. We'll see. I don't know if there. A bit here. I'm going to move on to the thread sections. It is very hard to see the stitches for the first row. We're just going to make do. And I should have counted my chains, but I didn't. Live and learn. Hopefully live and learn. Not just live. You should learn while you live. I don't think I'm going to work that last one. I'll just let it go. Yeah, I know you know the song. Sing it if you want to. But I am not going to do it. Alright, turn. There's another song. Something from the 60s. I've just got music on the brain today. Wow, it's really hard to see the stitches with this yarn in crochet. I don't think I would enjoy working a project with this in crochet, because it's really hard to see the stitches. That thick and thin stuff makes it difficult. I'm going to persevere. There's that. And I think that's the last one. We're going to say it's the last one. So I would say if you're going to crochet with this, you really need to count your stitches each row. And look how it's making kind of a curvy, freaky looking fabric. But you saw that on the picture of the project. See how it has those designs that appear as you work it in knit? So I imagine the same thing would happen in crochet. Yeah, they have that same project on every one of these. You can see other projects on the website. Anyway, I am not enjoying crocheting with this yarn. Between you and me, I think I would prefer knit. But it is a little bit easier to see the stitches as you work up higher. I'm not even going to try to do half doubles or doubles, because I'm having enough trouble just working singles. There we go. Well, maybe I will do a row of half doubles. Why not? We're here. But, like I said, it's really hard to count the stitches. I have no idea if that was the end of that row or not. Alright, we're going to turn. We're going to do half doubles. Not bad. It's kind of fiddly. It feels good. Don't get me wrong, it feels good in the hands. Especially the thread sections. Those are easy to hold and work through. The thicker sections take a little bit of thought to work through there. Okay, there it is. I think, yeah, that's it. Whoa. There. And I think there should be one more stitch there, but make one there. We'll just force it to happen. There. So now you've seen it crocheted, and you can see that it's kind of tedious to work. So that is crochet. I imagine that knitting is going to be easier. Unraveling, you have to just let it flow a little bit. It's going to stick, of course, through the thick sections, so just work it, you know, twist it around, twist the fabric around a little bit, and that helps to loosen up those thicker sections. There. So I can crochet with it, but I don't think I would want to. Right. I'm going to come over here. That's too far. I don't need that many stitches. I'll do it here. Now I'm going to knit with this plastic needle I have. And this will be easier because I'll be able to see the stitches without having to look for them and feel them. They'll be sitting there ready for me on the needle. So that's the good thing with knitting with this yarn. You don't have to search for the stitches. There. Do one more. There. Now, so you can see how it gets higher and lower as you work each row. That's the nature of thick and thin yarn. That's what it does. That will happen with any thick and thin yarn you use. There are art yarns that you can purchase, artistic yarns that are made by a spinner, a hand spinner, and they'll have that thick and thin look to them as well. So the difference about this thick and thin yarn is the thick sections are not huge and the thin sections are very thin. This is a lighter weight thick and thin yarn from the others I have seen on the market. It's very different from any other yarn by Yarn Inspirations. I remember when it first came out I thought, wow, interesting, and I wanted to get it so bad. But I waited. Now I have 9 beautiful skeins in the color green. So I like green because it makes me think of Ireland, my homeland. I wish it was my homeland. It's my ancestors' homeland. I wish I lived there now. I love Ireland. I want to go. I want to go, man. I really do. Maybe one day. I just wish I didn't hate flying so much. I hate to fly. I get scared in a plane. I always keep imagining the space between me and the ground. It's really hard to quit thinking about it. I sit there in my seat and I pray during the whole flight. God, please help us make it there. God, please help us make it there. And then when we land, I run screaming to the pilot and saying, thank you, God, thank you, pilot. Thank you for helping us land. I'm such a bad traveler. Oh well. I've only flown a few times, but I get petrified each time. But Ireland might be worth all the trouble. Might be worth it. My family came from Ireland in 1772. They came from Ballymoney in Northern Ireland. And they landed in the Charleston Harbor. So we didn't go up there where the Statue of Liberty is, where everybody else did. Our family came here before all that. In 1772, right when the Revolutionary War was happening. So, anyway, that's just a taste of my family history. So this is easy to knit with. I like this Patons Venus. It feels good on the hands, and it's so much easier to knit with than it was to crochet with. It just flows. It feels awesome. The fabric is very similar to what it looked crocheted, but I think it lays a little bit better. when it's knitted. I'm going to do some stockinette now. Let's do some pearls. See how that feels. Of course, you're not going to get any stitch definition, really, not much, with this yarn because of the thick and thin characteristics. That will detract from any design that you were to try to create with it. It's best just to do simple knits or knit and purl for stockinette. It's better to do that than it would be to try to do cables and lace. That'd be crazy with this yarn. It has it makes its own texture and its own design. You don't need to add any kind of stitch pattern to give it texture or design. This yarn already does it all for you. So just let the yarn stand on its own and make straight projects. Don't do anything fancy. There. Very interesting fabric that it makes. See how it's kind of artistic looking? So this would be good for making pretty tablecloth, I think. Very pretty tablecloth. Or a table runner, because of the design that would appear as you make it. Would look nice to make like a little square to put under a candle on your table. That would be pretty. But this is mostly a fashion yarn for garments. It would be very good for making a tank or a short sleeve top or a cardigan or vest or a scarf to decorate a top that you already have. It would be really nice. So you can see how it lays and how the stitches, you'll notice that the stitches don't just lay straight. They kind of go in and out and right and left, up and down. Has a wavy look to it. So there you go. There's my review of Patons Venus. You can buy it yourself on the Yarn Inspirations website, and I hope you have fun with it. Bye!